Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the assessment of on-premises infrastructure. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in on-premises infrastructure and you want to learn about it. So let's start, friend. Friend, first of all, we have to understand that what is basically infrastructure when we talk about. Friend, whenever we talk about infrastructure, basically we are referring to the like things, for example, the network devices, the firewalls, the servers. Each and every organization nowadays which is basically working for any IT based environment, it has definitely their own infrastructure. Means that they have some location at which their servers, their network devices, their routers, the storage, all those basically hardware resides. And when we talk about on premises, basically we are referring to that all these things are residing their own at their own location. Like for example, if you have an office, so there will be some location, there will be some room at which all those services, all those hardware would be available. So now today we shall discuss that how we can assess the on-premises infrastructure. That means basically that whatever the services, hardware things are available, we have to evaluate that what are the basically how things are going on, whether there is any need for improvement or we can scale up or scale down. So that is basically the assessment of on-premises infrastructure. So basically friend, assessing on-premise infrastructure involves evaluating and analyzing the various components and elements that make up an organization's physical IT environment. Whenever we talk about physical, that means basically hardware, devices, actual things like. So this process is crucial for ensuring that the infrastructure is efficient, secure, and aligned with the business current and future needs. Okay, so how things are going on and what are the future needs you have. So first we shall talk about the defined objective and scope. Means friend that we have to clearly outline the objective of the assessment. That means actually what you want to achieve from the assessment of on-premises infrastructure. For example, you want to improve the performance, you want to improve, enhance the security, or you want to prepare for the scalability, like you want to enhance the number of servers, or maybe you want to decrease the number of servers. Define the scope by specifying which aspects of the on-premises infrastructure will be assessed. For example, you want to do the assessment only for the servers, or only for network equipment, or only for the storage, only for security measures and more. So basically you have to identify the area, because whenever we talk about infrastructure, friend, there are lots of things are there. Okay, so we have to identify the areas for improvement. Okay, then inventory and documentation. Means create an inventory of all hardware components including servers, routers, switches, storage, and any other relevant equipment. You can prepare Excel sheet in which all the inventory should be clearly defined. Then document the specifications, configuration, and capacities of each component. Again, not only the inventory, again along with specifications. That for example, you have a core i7 machines. So how many core i7 machines you have? For example, 5 core i7 machines are there. So with specifications, all those things should be clearly mentioned. Then identify the interconnections and dependencies between different infrastructure elements. For example, network devices are there, and these network devices are connected with which firewall, and firewall is connected to which router, etc. So all those things are clearly mentioned with dependencies. Then performance evaluation means assess the performance of servers, storage devices, and networking equipment. This involves analyzing CPU usage, memory utilization, disk input output, and network bandwidth. Identify any bottleneck, showstopper, or performance issues that may affect the overall efficiency of the infrastructure. Then capacity planning means that evaluate the current capacity of the infrastructure in terms of storage, processing power, and network bandwidth. Like how much capacity you have in your infrastructure, how much load they can take. predict future capacity requirements based on business growth and technology trends, ensure that the infrastructure can scale to meet increasing demands without compromising the performance. Okay. Then security assessment means review the security measures in place, including firewalls, intrusion detection, prevention systems, antivirus software, and access controls. Friend, nowadays it is very important that you have assessment for security, because nowadays fraudulent activities are there, hackers are there. So whenever an hacker attack, he will definitely attack on the infrastructure. Okay, maybe attack on the firewall, maybe attack on the network. So basically attackers or hackers are basically attacking on the network. So it is very important that your infrastructure should be completely secure. Then identify vulnerabilities and potential security risks, ensure compliance with industry regulations and best practices. Again, there are some best practices there which should be properly followed. Then backup and disaster recovery means evaluate the backup and disaster recovery mechanism in place, that how will you recover if there is any disaster. Test the effectiveness of backup procedures and the ability to recover data in the event of a system failure or disaster. Ensure that recovery time objectives and recovery point objectives align with business requirements. Then network assessment means the examine the network architecture, topology, and traffic patterns, identify potential points of failure and bottlenecks, assess the effectiveness of network security measures. Here, friend, it is important that you must have an understanding about the traffic in the network, how traffic is moving in that network. Maybe you can use diagrams or some visual based diagrams for explanation. Then documentation and recommendation means document the finding from the assessment, including strength, weakness, and areas for improvement. Provide recommendations for enhancing the infrastructure, addressing vulnerabilities, and optimizing the performance here as well. Then cost analysis means that conduct a cost analysis to determine the total cost of ownership for the on-premises infrastructure, that how much cost actually. Whenever you have a clear understanding about the inventory, then you can calculate the cost of the infrastructure as well. Then evaluate the cost effectiveness of current solution and explore opportunities for cost saving or optimization, that how you can save the cost. Like for example, you can reduce some servers, maybe you can reduce some resources, for example hardware resources. So it depends on how you can save the cost. Then future planning means develop a roadmap for the future, outlining necessary upgrades, expansions, or changes to the on-premises infrastructure. Consider emerging technologies and trends that could impact the organization's IT landscape. Basically, friend, when you have the clear understanding about the current infrastructure, then you can do the planning for the future as well. Then implementation of changes means execute the recommended changes and improvements based on the assessment. Monitor the impact of changes on performance, security, and overall functionality.